I'd put him in eventually.
I would vote him in.
Yeah. I mean, I know I don't want to contradict myself because I know we talk about the voting system and it being ridiculous, but if you vote for Todd Helton now,
don't take him off.
You don't take him off. Keep him on. If you do, actually, I say if you do vote for Todd Helton now, you don't take him off. If you don't vote for Todd Helton now, as I wouldn't put Todd Helton on my ballot going forward because that's just hypocritical.
Unless you actually would have, the 10 players already there, and you don't have room for Todd Helton. I guess. I guess that's the only. That's the only situation.
Because if it's a weak class, and Todd Helton's got those numbers, put him in. Put him in.
I would put him in if I had a vote.
We're talking about this year, of course. Who belongs this year? Not like all time, but this year specifically in 2021. And for me, in this year of 2021, which is off to shall we say, eventful start. I wouldn't put him in. So next player, we'll go to who's next?
Let's go to our boy. How about your boy, bro?
Oh,
Andy Pettitte.
Andy Pettitte.
Your boy Andy Pettitte.
Unanimous Hall of Fame. No, I'm kidding. Read his numbers. This is an interesting one. I have to be unbiased here as a Yankee.
You gotta be unbiased.
Because I'll be honest, I'll come clean. He's my favorite Yankee of all time.
There he goes. That's it. You ready? 60.2 WAR. 256 wins, 153 losses, 3.85 ERA, 2,448 strikeouts, WHIP of 1.351.
Number retired by the Yankees, which doesn't matter, but three-time All-Star, 2001 ALCS MVP,
5-time World Series champ.
Had a chance. I think had it not been for the fact that Derek Jeter killed it in the 2000 World Series. And had such a great series. Andy Pettitte had a pretty good shot to win World Series MVP because he was tremendously effective. And Andy Pettitte, had the Yankees not lost the 2003 World Series, he probably had a good shot to be MVP in that World Series too because he pitched great in Game 2. He went 8 2/3. The Yankees won that game. And in that Game 6 that Josh Beckett had one of the all-time great postseason performances. In the clincher, they lost that game 2-0. Andy pitched great. Josh Beckett was just better that night.
I remember that.
Andy's career, he has the most postseason wins of any pitcher, I believe. But then again,
Andy,
yeah,
really
confirmed that. But that's because he was on great teams. And again, I'm being objective here.
Of course,
I'm being objective. Andy was on great teams.
He had 19 wins postseason.
In postseason, which among starting pitchers, I think ranks him most all time. Or one of the most.
Any Cy Youngs for him?
No, he should have won it in 1996. He finished second to Pat Henson. He was a 21-game winner in 96. They should have given it to him.
I see that, 21-8. Wow.
He won 21 games in 2003 as well, but his ERA was in the 4s. His postseason career ERA is 3.81.
You knew that off the top of your head, didn't you?
Yes.
Impressive.
1996. I mean, listen, he had some great postseason performances. Game 5 against the Braves on the road.
Pitcher, right?
Pretty much. I mean, at times, Game 1 against it varies how you look at Andy. Because Game 1 against the Braves hitters destroyed him. Andrew Jones particularly. I think Andrew Jones took him deep twice. Game 5, though, goes on the road, pitches one of the greatest postseason performances you'll ever see.
Yeah.
A 1-0 gem. He goes 8 innings, shutout innings, on the road against John Smoltz in one of the best pitchers' duels ever.
Yeah.
So that's one of his signature performances. I'm going postseason by postseason. Let's just look at the dynasty years, folks.
I hate those years. I really do.
So do Met fans, so do Padres fans. So do Oakland fans and Seattle fans. So does everybody, except for Yankee fans, pretty much.
Oh, man.
90, not counting 97, because they didn't win it that year. I don't know if he probably pitched in the division series. 98, he was terrible in the ALCS. He got shellacked in Game 3. He was great in the World Series, though. In the clincher, he went 7 1/3 shutout innings.
That's when you guys swept the
Padres,
right?
He was great in the clincher.
One of the
99.
best teams ever, right? 98.
Yep. 99, he pitched like Garbaggio in the World Series. Game 3, which is the Chad Curtis game, where Chad Curtis hit the walk-off home run, he was terrible. He got knocked out, I think, in the 5th inning. He gave up 5 runs, and the Yankees came back to win that game 6-5, but he was not good. 2000, very good. Like I said, as I just said, he had a good shot to win World Series MVP in 2000. He pitched great. He was in 2 great pitchers' duels with Al Leiter. He was great. MVP of the ALCS in 2001, deservedly. Bad in the 2001 World Series. Bad. Game 6 was tipping his pitches. 2003, he pitched great. It was no fault of his. They lost. Helped the Astros to the World Series in 2005. And in 2009, which was his fifth and final World Series championship with the Yankees, he pitched a clincher in Game 3 against the Twins in the Division Series. He pitched a clincher in Game 6 and won all 3 games, by the way, against the Angels in the Championship Series. And he pitched the clincher in Game 6 against Pedro Martinez and the Phillies at the first year of the new Yankee Stadium, and won that game as well of the World Series. So he's borderline to me. Unfortunately,
why is he borderline now?
He's hurt because his association with Clemens, and he tested positive for HGH. But that's because he was trying to rehab from a shoulder injury, and he was trying to get back quicker. That was his thing.
You can't blame the guy for that.
You can't. That's the same thing with Sheffield. Sheffield was trying to get back. He wasn't trying to enhance his game. He was trying to get back to the field quicker. It was for injury healing, and it helped him. But, I mean, Andy, I don't know. I don't think his numbers should be as low as they are, but would I put Andy in this year? No, I wouldn't, because Andy was never. Again, it's kind of like Helton. The paragraph the quote I just read, I should say, his numbers are so good you don't know what to do with them.
His wins were up there, but
256.
I think it's like you said, he was just on a great team.
Yeah, because when you're on,
you know what I mean?
and it's not. This was the argument kind of against Jeter. Oh well, when you're in a lineup with Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams, and Chuck Malblock and Tito Martinez, it's like, listen, you still have to hit the ball. You still have to do your job. Yeah. Same thing with Andy. I'm not faulting Andy. Andy still has to go out there and pitch. And for the most part, he pitched well. Yeah. In the World Series. 2009, he was great in that World Series. Had an RBI in that World Series. He was a very good pitcher in that World Series. Yeah. He's a big part of the reason why the Yankees won the World Series in 2009.
I mean, he has 40 more wins than another guy that we're going to talk about soon.
Yeah. But then again, that's tricky, and we'll talk about that.
Wins are a stat. It's a tricky stat.
It's a tricky stat. But I think Andy Jeter was just a remarkable hitter. And Mariano Rivera would have been a great reliever anywhere else. Yeah, Jeter would have if Jeter would have been on the Kansas City Royals his entire career, he would probably still have the same numbers. Same thing with Mariano Rivera as a closer. But Andy, even when he was in Houston, those were great teams. Great teams.
I remember
Bagwell, Biggio, Kent.
I believe it was.
Beach in 04 too. Beltran. Sorry to bring up bad memories.
No, it's okay. It's filled with bad memories. Braves fans.
Lately for Yankee fans too. Those were great teams in Houston. So Andy was never on a losing team.
No.
I don't think and even when the Yankees weren't making the playoffs because they were old, like in 2013, that was an 85-win squad. Andy was never on a mediocre squad.
Was he hurt for 2011?
He was retired.
And then he
came back in 2012. He retired after 2010. Then he came back in 2000. He pulled the Clemens. He came back in 2012 and pitched for the Yankees and through 2013. His final career start was a complete game shutout.
Wow, it's not a bad way to go out.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to go out. Andy's not getting in this year. I wouldn't put. And again, it hurts me because Andy Pettitte is my favorite Yankee ever. I love Andy Pettitte. I'm not slandering him in any way, but it's like Burley.
Nice job being unbiased, by the way.
No, thank you. It's like Mark Burley, Hall of Famer for his team. Retire his number, and his number is retired by the Yankees.
Yeah,
he's a guy that you would as a team. If a team has a Hall of Fame, you put him in the Hall of Fame for your team. But as far as the actual baseball Hall of Fame, I wouldn't go there. And I love Andy. Now next up is everybody's favorite Republican.
No.
Curt Schilling.
Curt Schilling.
And a disclaimer on that, without getting too deep into anything. Yeah. That's another thing. If you have certain views that don't align with somebody and you're not voting for that person, or you are voting for that person because of those views, that's another problem. You should recuse yourself. And so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Read Schilling's numbers.
Here we go. 79.5 WAR, 216 wins, 146 losses, 3.46 ERA. He had 22 saves, 3,116 strikeouts, and 1.137 WHIP.
World Series MVP with Randy Johnson in 2001. Three-time World Series champ, 2001 with the Diamondbacks, 2004 with the Red Sox, and 2007 with the Red Sox as well. NLCS MVP, which I think is 2001. Or either 2001 or 1993. I hate Curt Schilling as a player, I'll be honest. I don't know him as a person. I don't know if he's a good or a bad guy. Yeah. I can't judge. As a player,
why is that?
I despise Curt Schilling. Yankee killer.
Well, he's not game.
Catch up, you mean? 2001 World Series, he was brilliant. He should have won all 3 games because if not for Byung-Hyun Kim, He would have been 3-0 in that World Series.
Yep.
But alas, the Yankees rallied both times off Kim in Games 4 and Game 5. The Tino Martinez 2-run homer to tie the game in Game 4. The Yankees won that game on Derek Jeter's walk-off home run in the 10th inning. And then, of course, the very next night, Scott Brocious' game-tying 2-run home run off Kim, and then the Yankees winning that game on Alfonso Soriano's walk-off single in the 12th inning. But no, Kurt, he pitched brilliantly throughout that entire postseason. He did not lose. His ERA was under 1. It was sub-1. Should have been 3-0 in that World Series. Pitched a no decision in Game 7. And even if he would have lost that game, it wouldn't have been his fault, because Yankee fans remember Alfonso Soriano hit a late-game home run. Yeah. That put the Yankees up 2-1 until Mariano came in, and it couldn't hold the lead, unfortunately. But Kurt pitched 8 innings of 2-run ball. In a Game 7, that's about all you can ask for.
Yep.
And I believe he might have won the NLCS MVP.
Yes, he did in
01.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at 93.
It's
93, he was.
It's either 93. MVP. Okay, so it's 93, when he helped the Phillies get to the World Series.
Yep.
2004, of course, bloody sock game. Yankee killer in the 2001 World Series. Yankee killer, bigger Yankee killer in the 2004 ALCS.
That was insane. 01 and 04 was insane.
It was. It was. And Kurt was the big X factor as to why the Diamondbacks were able to beat the Yankees.
He was 11-2 in the postseason. That's a pretty darn good record
across his career.
Yes,
and here's the thing about Kurt, who also again helped the Red Sox win the World Series over Colorado Rockies in 2007.
Yep.
Again, being unbiased, Kurt's one of the best big game pitchers the sport has ever seen. Yes. He's one of the greatest big game pitchers that baseball has ever seen. And the thing is this, and Kirk Minahan from Barstool Sports brought this up. And I'm not slandering him. Tom Glavine is deservedly in the Hall of Fame. But let's compare Tom Glavine to Kurt Schilling. We have to remember, Kurt Schilling was on some bad Phillies teams. After 1993, the Phillies were not very good. They were consistently bad. The year before they made the World Series in 93, his ERA was in the low twos, and they were a 70-win team. So let's take this. I'll actually even compare him to Andy Pettitte.
Yeah.
Take Kurt Schilling and swap him out for Tom Glavine. How many more wins do you think Kurt Schilling would have? How many more World Series would the Braves have? Except for that one in 95. Probably more.
Probably would have got 96, I would have said. Maybe.
Would have gotten them all, I think. Probably would have gotten them all.
Yeah. Because he was a real big game pitcher. He was just top of his game when it came to the playoffs. As you can see, 11-2.
What's his postseason ERA?
He was an animal. Let's see his ERA.
It's probably very low.
Let's see. 2.23.
Come on. Come on. And I mean, you could say, and I'm joking about the catch-up. I don't know if he was bleeding. I know he was having a severe ankle issue. I don't know if he was bleeding or if it was a catch-up or actual blood. I don't know.
Who knows what it was?
We'll never know. But
could have been Red Dye 40 for all we know.
Could have been. It's nice inside joke. No, yeah, like I said, one of the greatest big game pitchers ever. 2001 World Series champion and 2001 World Series co-MVP along with the big unit Randy Johnson. As they beat the Yankees in an epic 7-game World Series, winning Game 7 out in Arizona in walk-off fashion. Red Sox helped break the drought in 04, pitched that gem of a game at Yankee Stadium on the road in Game 6, down 3-2, where if the Yankees would have won that game, they would have gone to the World Series. 07 World Series champ, 2.23 ERA for his postseason, 11-2 lifetime in the postseason. Like I said, swap him out for Glavine. How many more wins does he have? Swap him out for Pettitte. Put him on those Yankee teams in the late 90s. How many more wins does he have? Schilling was the victim of bad teams during the first half of his career, but you saw what he was capable of once he got to Arizona and once he got to Boston. And only 2 postseason losses. I mean, it's incredible. So you can not like Kurt Schilling as a person. You can disagree with what he has to say about matters.
Totally fine.
Which is understandable.
Totally fine.
But again, we're not talking about the person. We're talking about the player.
We're talking about the
and the fact that Kurt Schilling is not a Hall of Famer is an absolute joke. It's a joke.
Basketball, bro. The ball doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie.
Exactly. Numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie.
And I didn't even know he came up with the Orioles. That's crazy.
He did, yeah.
I didn't know that.
He did.
I actually didn't. Wow.
But his best years came in Philadelphia. And you know what? Again, had he been on the Braves or the Yankees in the 90s, he'd have way more than 216 wins.
Yeah, definitely.
Way more. And even later in his career, 07, he was great. At the end of his career, I mean,
yeah,
he was giving me his numbers for his last season. Well, he missed actually 08 with an injury, so he didn't.
Yeah.
But
in 06, he was 15-7, age 39 season.
And 07, his final year, when
he was 9-8
with the 4.39, which for a 40-year-old is not bad.
It's not bad.
He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. Put him in. He deserves it. To not put him in is a joke. It's a joke. And I don't even like
that's why they've been holding him back, because, like you said,
he says certain
things,
views
on certain things. I mean, come on now.
It's a ridiculous reason.
Like the numbers.
Again, Ty Cobb in the Hall of Fame was a racist,
but he's there.
And he's there as he should be.
He's in there. Numbers don't lie. Who do you want to talk about now, bro? Who are we looking at?
You know what? Let's do Billy Wagner.
Billy Wagner.
Career ERA of 2.31. Career saves in the 430s. 30?
Let's see here.
2 saves for his career?
422.
422. I was off by 10.
422.
He trails. He's trails John Franco.
You want
by
to compare him to Lee Smith or anyone else?
Yes.
Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Lee Smith is a compiler, by the way. Pull up Lee's save numbers.
Just so you can see, a little.
Who's the worst good closer there ever was. Alongside Trevor Hoffman, another very overrated closer.
Oh, man.
478 saves for his career.
It's pretty good.
Career ERA of what for Lee?
For Lee?
Yeah.
No, let's not look at that. Well, yeah. 3.03.
3.03.
Our boy Billy Wagner.
2.31.
2.31. 422 saves.
Met fans don't remember him fondly because of the 06 NLCS, but I'm sorry. But this was a guy who, to sound like Chris Collinsworth, now here's a guy. I mean, this guy from really, he was one of the game's best closers for really right up until the end. The last year with the Braves, 7-2, ERA of 1.43, 37 saves, and 44 save opportunities. Before a shoulder problem, I believe, ended his career and forced him into retirement.
Bro. This dude threw hard.
He threw very hard. The only bad year he had in that time period was, I think, 2000. He had a 6 ERA in one of those years.
It's 2000.
Yeah, he was terrible that year.
Yeah, he got rocked.
But he bounced back. Really, 97 to 99, and again from 2001 right up until the end of his career, he's one of the game's most dominant closers. And somebody brought up this point: the reliever wasn't really thought of all that highly back then. But in this era in which the bullpen is essential to the game and essential for these managers in trying to win games, especially come postseason time, I think that renews how we look at Billy Wagner. Granted, I've always looked at Billy Wagner as a Hall of Famer.
I have as well.
Because again, I go back to this. Bruce Sutter has... How long did Billy Wagner play? 15 years?
Let's see here. 16 years.
16 years.
16
Bruce Sutter played 12, has 300 saves.
Yeah. Lee Smith played 18 years.
18 years. And has 300 saves, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Billy Wagner's not. I don't get that. How can you... If a guy...
You want to look up Bruce Sutter? Come on, let's look.
I know he has exactly 300 saves. His ERA is like 2.83 for his career.
Let's look him up real quick.
Just to compare.
A little comparison here. Yeah, 300 saves. Yep, you're right. 2.83 ERA. You got Cy Young. 6-time All-Star, 1982 World Series.
What team was he on for that? Was he on the Cardinals for that?
For when? For the World Series?
Yeah, who won the World Series? It was the Cardinals, right? Cardinals won the World Series.
Yeah, in 82.
Yeah.
82, yeah, they won it.
It's ridiculous. It really is. It's absolutely ridiculous.
If you're gonna, you gotta put Billy Wagner in there.
I think so too.
You have to put Billy Wagner in there. Bruce Sutter's in there with 300 saves, 861 strikeouts. You gotta put my man in there.
It's just not fair.
422 saves, 1,196 strikeouts.
It's not fair. It's not right that he's had to wait. I mean, I don't know. I mean, listen, the fact that Trevor Hoffman, I understand why he's in, even though he's a compiler and super overrated. But to omit Wagner, that I've never understood because...
Was he a bad guy or something?
Well, maybe he might have been rough around the edges. I don't know. I remember there being a controversy with him and Lasting Milledge. It wasn't a racial controversy. It was just kind of...
in the Mets.
It was a rookie veteran controversy type thing. But again, how can you pitch to a 2.31 ERA for your career and have over 400 saves and not be in?
Yeah.
2.31.
That's a darn good ERA, bro.
For a career, it's incredible.
That's a darn good ERA.
And he was a lockdown reliever.
He has a better ERA than Bruce Sutter and Lee Smith.
Yeah, I mean, for a lockdown reliever, again, right up until the end of his career, was a big part of those early 2000s Killer Bees, or late 90s Killer Bees Houston teams, and those early 2000s Killer Bees teams, because Bagwell, Biggio, and Beltran.
Bigwell.
Bigwell.
Shout out to Bigwell.
Come home to Bigwell. Biggio, Beltran, and Bagwell too. So with the Phillies, he spent time with the Phillies just 1 year in 05. And then, listen, his regular season numbers with the Mets. I mean, he was pretty solid with the Mets.
Yeah,
pretty solid. And at the end of his career, the guy was 37 years old, pitching to a 1.43 ERA, 37 saves. I mean, put him in. He's in. Billy Wagner's in this year.
I wonder how many blown saves he had. You want to look at the blown saves?
Yeah, maybe that's the barometer.
Let's see.
Because if it's a close ratio, then I'd have to reconsider.
Let's see. Blown saves. I don't see them here. Fortunately, I can't see it here, buddy.
All right, let me see how many. I'll look it up. How many saves did Billy Wagner blow for his career?
He pitched in 853 games. Lee Smith pitched in 1,022 games, which is probably why
he had more time.
Probably why he has more saves than Billy Wagner. You got to put Billy Wagner in there.
It's a fascinating case. SI did an article on him in 2017. He's been on the ballot a while. Career WAR of 28-1, but that's just because, listen, he didn't pitch a lot. He was a closer. He came at the end of games.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm looking here. I'm trying to look at his Mets years.
Man, he threw hard, bro. I remember how hard this dude was just lighting up the gun.
A free agent for the first time, 34-year-old Wagner landed a 4-year, because he was traded to the Phillies, $43 million deal with the Mets, and sparked an interborough controversy because he used to use Enter Sandman. Wagner saved 40 of the Mets' 97 wins as they claimed their first NL East title in 20 years. Mm-hmm. Accompanied by a typically low 2.24 ERA, Wagner's save total ranked second in the league, the highest he would ever finish, and his 11.7 strikeouts per nine was his highest mark since 1999. He notched the first 3 saves of his postseason career as the Mets swept the Dodgers. He took the loss in Game 2 by allowing 3 ninth-inning runs, and then gave up 2 runs while protecting a ninth-inning lead in Game 6. So he didn't get the chance to see the ninth inning in Game 7. I'm trying to see here. 1-year deal with the Braves. He pitched as well as ever. Career low 1.43 ERA. Was never known as a steroid guy. So I would put Billy Wagner in.
I would vote him in as well, bro.
So who?
He was one of the top. When you think about in those years, think about Mariano, Billy Wagner,
Hoffman. You got to put Hoffman in there. Even though I don't want to, but
yeah, he was top 3. I think he was legit top 3. John Smoltz, you could throw him.
Yeah, John Smoltz was a closer for a little bit. I forgot. John Smoltz was a great one too.
He was elite. He was
a great closer.
We gotta mention him.
Move the computer closer so the people can see you in the camera.
Sorry, folks.
So the fine folks can get a look.
I've been hiding here. My bad.
Yeah, you've been popping in and out. How many guys are left on the ballot?
We got Michael Goddard.
Well, Vizquel is there.
Yeah, let's talk about Omar.
Oh, well,
what's up with Omar?
Let's not. Yeah, Omar is a little bit of a tricky case because he's into the news for some not so good things. But again, we're going to look at the player. Omar Vizquel for his career. Pull up his numbers.
Omar Vizquel.
Again, one of the greatest defensive players the game has seen.
Don't even get me started with the glove, man. Let's WAR. Here's a WAR. 45.6, 2,877 hits, 80 home runs, 272 batting average, RBI is 951, stolen base 404, OBP of 336, slugging 352, OPS 688, OPS plus of 82. 3-time All-Star. This is the stat right here.
11-time Gold Glove.
11-time Gold Glove.
He was basically, again, I bring up Ordonez. He was basically what if Ray Ordonez could hit, this is what he would be. That's pretty much it. Like that, yeah. He was basically what Vizquel was what Met fans wanted Ordonez to be.
Yes.
A wizard with the glove, and a pretty good hitter to match. His Cleveland years were good. 272 batting average. Eh.
I know.
And his WAR is lower than the average Hall of Famer at 62. And his WAR being 45. He played forever.
He did play forever.
2,877 hits for his career.
You gotta give him credit for that, though.
No, listen, longevity is good.
Seasons.
But I mean, you can compile a lot of hits in that time. Plus, he got a lot of playing time.
That's true.
I mean, if he were to go into the Hall of Fame, he'd go in.
He was 45 years old when he stopped playing.
Yeah, 2012 with Toronto, right?
Yes.
I remember that. You know, if he were to go into the Hall of Fame, he'd probably go in as an Indian because he spent a decade in Cleveland, 1994 to 2004.
985 fielding percentage.
He's one of the greatest defensive players the game has ever seen, and he was a good hitter to match. In Cleveland, he was a good leadoff tandem. He made one half of a really good leadoff tandem with Kenny Lofton. Out there. So in Cleveland, they're in their heyday in the mid '90s. He's to me, you know what? I wouldn't put him in this year. I wouldn't put him in. I don't like the WAR. I don't like the batting average all that much. I respect the defense. I think he should get a sizable amount of votes, but I don't see how Vizquel is a Hall of Famer. It's borderline at best.
I'd put him in, bro.
It's borderline at best.
I'd put him in. The glove was just, again, like Andrew Jones. He's probably one of the best defensive shortstops that I got to see play. I mean, Ozzie Smith was already out of the game when I was growing up. But Omar with the glove, he was sick. 11 for you to win a Gold Glove 11 times. That's impressive. If we had the point system, MLB, if you're listening, if you had the point system, you would give him about 5-10 points for each Gold Glove, and then his All-Star appearances. The hitting he wasn't that bad of a hitter.
No, I'm not saying he was a bad hitter.
It wasn't that bad, and
he wasn't bad.
He almost got 3,000 hits. He did play for a while, but
1989 and 2012. I'm going to look at his Cleveland numbers.
I would want him in, bro.
95 through 90, I guess 2001. 266 and 95. That's the year they made the World Series. 6 homers, 56 RBIs. His walks to strikeout ratio was pretty good, I have to admit. 59 even in 95. He struck out the same amount of times he walked.
Yeah.
56 walks to 42 strikeouts. Hit 297 to 96. 9 homers, 64 RBIs. 144 hits in 95. That's because the strike shortened that year. 161 in 96, 97, 280, 57 walks, 58 strikeouts. He hit 2 homers, 50 RBIs on the nose. 98 was, 19, is this 98? No, he missed, let's see.
99, he had 191 hits.
He hit 333, 66 ribbies. 5 homers, and then 2000, 7 homers, 66 ribbies, hit 287, and 2001, which is the last year Cleveland was really good during that era. He hit 255 with 50 RBIs and 2 home runs. It's a borderline case because his defense was tremendous, yes, but his offense was slightly above average. Yeah. He's not a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I'm not putting him in. No.
Yeah, I would throw him in there. The glove was elite. It's an elite glove.
Can he get in eventually? Yeah, but not this year.
Yeah, he'll probably get in. Unfortunately, he has to wait.
He'll have to wait.
He'll have to wait. Let's see.
I'm not putting Vizquel in. So there's a few more guys on the ballot this year. Let's pull the ballot back up because we've pretty much covered all these guys. I mean, we didn't talk about the guys we know aren't getting in. We're not going to waste time on that. But
hold on, folks.
You pull up the ballot because I think there's only a few more guys we have to consider. By the way, as I said before, subscribe to the podcast and. This episode will be up on YouTube and all your other audio outlets later. Let's see.
Ready for Scott Rowland?
This is the guy. Because I'll be honest, and I'll throw the floor to you after this. Scott Rowland, I didn't think of him as a Hall of Famer. To me, he was in the Hall of Very Good. Then I got to look at his advanced numbers. I didn't realize how good his advanced numbers were.
It was good.
Analytically speaking, Scott Rowland, his impact might put him over the top as a Hall of Famer. And every team he went to, he made them better. He had an ugly exit from Philadelphia, but this is when Philadelphia really wasn't. This is before Victorino and Hamels and Lynch and all those guys that helped make him good. The late Roy Halladay. So he got out of there. He went to St. Louis. made them better, helped them win a World Series in '06, is in the Hall of Fame deservedly so. Finished up his career in Cincinnati, helped Cincinnati break a 15-year playoff drought.
Yep.
Everywhere Scott Rowland went, to me, for those of you that are hockey fans out there, you're going to understand this comparison. Everywhere that Scott went, winning followed usually. So he was to me, this is why I say if you're a hockey fan, you'll know this reference. He's the Chris Pronger of baseball. Because for the hockey fans out there, Pronger started his career with the Hartford Whalers. They weren't very good. Not his fault. He went to St. Louis. St. Louis got instantaneously better when he was with the Blues, which is where he spent the majority of his career. The Edmonton Oilers were a so-so team at best. He gets there. He gets traded there. First year he's there. Only year he's there. They make the Stanley Cup Finals in 2006. They go all the way to Game 7. He gets traded to the Anaheim Ducks. First year he's there. They win the Stanley Cup. He gets traded to the Philadelphia Flyers. First year he's there. They make the Stanley Cup Finals. They don't win, but they get there. So everywhere Chris went, winning hockey followed. Same thing with Scott Rowland. Everywhere he went, winning baseball followed.
Yeah.
And as advanced numbers, if I don't know if there's a way you can pull that up. If not, I can try and pull it up
you
here.
Can look up the advanced metrics. I'll read the basic ones here.
Mm-hmm.
He had a WAR of 70.1, 2,077 hits, 316 homers, a 281 batting average, runs 1,211, RBIs 1,287, stolen bases 118, OBP of 364, slugging of 490, OPS of 855, OPS plus of 122. He did win Rookie of the Year.
In 96?
97.
Oh, that's his first full year because he came in 96. Yes. He came in like a September call up.
Yeah. 97 Rookie of the Year, 7-time All-Star, 2006 World Series winner, like you said. He got a Silver Slugger, and this is a big one right here. 8-time Gold Glove.
For his career, his breakout year was 98. So he had he saved 12 runs.
98,
according to Total Zone. He as you said, 8-time Gold Glove winner, 6.7 WAR that year. And I'm trying to see what it is for his career at the end there. Let me see. Rowland. Okay. Live podcasting again at its finest. He wasn't a great postseason hitter. Hit 220. His slash line was 220, 302, 376 with 5 homers and 159 plate appearances. He really was, but he was stellar when it counted. He was great in the 04 NLCS, and he helped the Cardinals win that series. He was stellar in the 2006 World Series. Regular season wise, obviously doesn't scream Hall of Famer at you, but his offense was a model of consistency. As the article at Fangraphs says here, his .490 slugging percentage is, according to this article, 5th among players who spent most of their careers playing third base. His 122 OPS plus ranks 9th on a list topped by 6 Hall of Famers, which includes your boy Chipper Jones, Mike Schmidt, Eddie Matthews, another Braves legend, George Brett, 1996 World Champion, New York Yankees legend Wade Boggs.
There you go.
I don't know where else he played. You know, he might have played in some city north of New York.
Man.
But anyway, he has a 56.9 JAWS rating, and his 1.7 WAR at third base is above the career standard for that specific position. And at his peak, his WAR was 43.6, and it's a modest 14th here, but it's still above the standard by like a half. So I wasn't convinced at first, but factoring in the advanced analytics involving Scott, which opened my eyes. Yeah. I'd say he's a Hall of Fame.
You know what? I knew he was a great player because growing up watching him with the Phillies, he was really good with the Cardinals as well. I forgot he even played for Cincinnati Reds. But
at the end of his career,
that's
where I remember him.
That's where you remember him?
Yeah, Cincinnati. I don't remember much of his Cardinals tenure.
He actually he got an All-Star appearance in 2011, second to last year, which is again impressive at 36. Yeah. But I didn't remember him being that nice with the glove. 8-time Gold Glove winner.
Kind of like Abreu. We didn't realize how good a player Abreu was offensively. You don't realize how good Rowland was.
I always knew he was a good, consistent hitter, like you said.
Yeah.
He would, he was pretty clutch as well. But the defense. I think I would vote him in. He was a nice, balanced player, great hitter. He's better than my boy Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones is my favorite player at third base, but defensively, Scott Rowland takes the cake against him.
A-Rod, in his prime at the position, he didn't play the hot corner for very long because he was a natural shortstop. But A-Rod was the best defensive third baseman I ever saw, at least when he was still in his prime. But Rowland, I guess when you go back and watch his highlights, that's the beauty of YouTube. If for a young sports fan, you can go back and it's a treasure trove of archives to really educate yourself. And seeing what Rowland did, I think on that metric alone, Rowland was, I guess, in retrospect, and we didn't realize this, but the beauty of advanced analytics is that now we can. He was really a two-way player. He was the epitome of what you would want a two-way player to be. He can kill you with the bat and can save you with the glove.
Yeah, definitely save you with the glove.
So Scott Rowland's a Hall of Famer.
I would vote him in.
So,
I think I got like 12 players so far.
We're not going by the usual rules of you can only vote for 10 guys. This is on merit because we're disregarding that voting system.
Thanks.
And I mentioned that in almost an hour 40 into the podcast. This is about to break the record for the longest podcast I've done because I did Marvin. Shout out to you. That was the longest one I ever done was to this point was ever did I should say was with him. So there's a few more guys to consider. Let's get through them because I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, definitely. Let's look at. We got the two big names. That's about it.
Well, there's one more. Torrey Hunter.
Oh, true.
AJ Burnett's on the ballot. He's not getting in. 2009 World Series champion with the Yankees. Love you, AJ. You're not getting in.
Torrey Hunter.
Great defense.
Let's go.
5-time All-Star, 3-time Silver Slugger, 9-time Gold Glover. Scott Rowland was worth 26 wins more than Torrey Hunter.
Yeah.
Torrey Hunter for his career, I'm looking at the numbers here that Victor has pulled up. 2,452 hits, 353 home runs. Really was good right up until the end because even in his last year in Minnesota at like 37-38, 40. At 40, he hit like 22 home runs for the Twins. 277 for his career. On base percentage of 33.1, slugging percentage of 461, OPS 793, OPS plus 110. Great with the glove. I remember him growing up. I remember him with the Angels.
Okay, yeah.
I grew up watching him in Los Angeles with the Angels. I don't remember much of his Twins years, but his Angels years, that's where I know him best from.
Yeah. 10-time gold. You said that? No, sorry.
9-time Gold Glove winner. Was he ever one of the best hitters in the sport? Because again, this is the thing I asked with Vizquel. This is why I can't put Vizquel in there. Legendary plays. I mean, you may remember he robbed Barry Bonds of a home run the 0-2 All-Star game.
Right? Yeah, that was sick.
He robbed A-Rod of a home run in 2004 ALDS too.
I remember that. Let's see here. But this is the thing. If I was to compare him with Andrew Jones, they're kind of similar.
Yeah.
Although I'm voting Andrew Jones in, but then when I look at the offensive numbers, Torrey Hunter has better numbers than Andrew Jones.
Average wise.
Yes.
And hits wise.
He pretty much got the same amount of Gold Glove trophies.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be hypocritical for me to say Andrew Jones is in and Torrey Hunter is not in.
If you want to put Torrey Hunter, did I say Andrew Jones was in? Did I vote him in? I don't remember either.
I think he said yeah.
I think he said
it's
tough. I don't want to go against myself because I might contradict myself in the same podcast.
I think I'm being too generous, bro. I'm letting everyone in pretty much. This is bad.
We're opening up the floodgates. It's like that meme with Oprah. You're a Hall of Famer, and you're a Hall of Famer, and everybody's a Hall of Famer. No, I don't.
Oh man.
I can't put Torrey Hunter in.
You can't put Torrey in?
And if I did say earlier that Andrew Jones is in, then by that same logic, I have to take Andrew Jones out. So sorry.
Did you say Bobby Abreu goes in?
Yeah, but Bobby Abreu. Okay.
Because.
Disagreement.
No, I'm just saying because the numbers are pretty similar, bro.
Offensively?
Yeah.
For Abreu?
Yeah. Bobby Abreu had 2,470 hits.
Oh, this is about to be an episode of SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs.
Torrey Hunter had 2,452 hits. Bobby Abreu had 288 home runs. Torrey Hunter had 353.
Well, how long did Bobby play compared to Torrey? This is about to be that episode of SpongeBob where like Mr. Krabs realized he was awake and he started taking everything back. He stopped being generous. No more refills.
He had 19 years.
And compared to
Hunter. Let's see, Bobby.
Well, that's 18 years, so it's about the same.
Right?
So wait a minute. Then you know what? Fine. Then on that logic,
I'm just saying. We're looking at the numbers.
He wasn't a bad hitter. Like I'm trying to look at Torrey.
He wasn't that bad of a hitter.
He wasn't. He was never like a below average hitter. I mean, the guy, his breakout year was 2001. 27 home runs, 92 RBIs. 29 home runs in 02 with the year the last time the Twins won a playoff series in 02. 94 ribbies, 102-26 in 03, 81-23 in 04, 56-14 in 05, 98-31 06, 07 107-28. Los Angeles, which is where I remember him, 78-21 his first year, 90-22, 90-23. This is his RBIs, home runs, folks. 82-23, 92-16. And then his last few years, Detroit, which I remember watching him there too, 84-17, 83-17. Last year, Minnesota, 81-22. At 39 years old, 81 RBIs, 22 home runs. Okay, you know what? Okay, fine, you know. If I put Jones in, if I put Abreu in, I'm going to have to put Hunter in too. Torrey Hunter's in.
Maybe not this year.
Maybe not this year.
Because, you don't.
But he should, he should get in.
He should get in, bro.
I would put him in.
He should get in.
So the last two guys, you want to group them together?
Yeah, let's just group them together. Why not?
Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds. Two OGs.
Who are getting closer. Their numbers are rising, by the way. We'll wrap up with this.
They're in the 60%, right?
Yeah, and they're getting. You need 75 to get in. It took Piazza 4 ballots to get in.
And this is their 9th year, by the way.
They have 6 more years.
No, I thought it was 10, no?
You get like 15.
Oh, it's 15?
You get 15.
Oh, okay. So they should get in. I mean, they're climbing up slowly.
I hope. I mean, Clemens was difficult. Clemens was a psychopath.
Look at his WAR, 139.2.
354 wins for his career, 184, 3.12 ERA for his career, 7-time Cy Young Award winner. I mean, I don't care if he was juicing. This dude came out of retirement at 42 years old. Granted, he wasn't in retirement that long because he had played the previous season with the Yankees, as you may remember. Yeah. Man, 42 years old and Cy Young. Okay.
MVP, 2-time Triple Crown winner, 2-time World Series
with the Yankees.
All-Star MVP, 7-time Cy Young, 11-time All-Star, 7-time ERA title.
And let me just say,
Major League Player of the Year.
When he won his first World Series in 1979 against the Atlanta Braves, he pitched the clincher at Yankee Stadium.
Just had to rub that one in. He just had to bring that one up. I cried that World Series.
You did?
I definitely did.
It's understandable.
It was a sweep, bro. It was terrible. Chipper Jones MVP year. We thought we had a chance.
Yes.
They just blurred.
Well, New York had to get revenge because you got the Mets out of there. So you know what? You got Queens out of there. The Bronx had to come and get you. The Bronx had to pick up for Queens.
Oh man,
you know
they don't even respect the Bronx like that, man. That's how bad it is. It's bad.
Oh boy. But Clemens to me, 2001 Cy Young Award winner with the Yankees, 2-time Cy Young Award winner with the Toronto Blue Jays, back-to-back years in '97 and '98. I think in one of those years in '97 or '98, he had a 2.05 ERA. Listen, steroids or not, again, I go back to the David Justice quote. Roger Clemens started juicing after 1996 because that's when he was pissed off at the Red Sox executives who suggested that he was in the twilight of his career. So that's when, out of jealousy and spite, he started juicing. And that's when he just had this great tear from 97 until about 06.
Yeah.
And again, Justice talked about this with Bonds. Barry Bonds started juicing in 98. So let's take Bonds' career up until 97, which is his last year as a clean player.
Yeah.
Actually, 98 is his last year as a clean player. He started juicing in the 98 offseason. So 98, right?
That's when his head got just blew up.
Clemens. Huge. Let's take Clemens' career up until 96. And let's say Clemens and Bonds suffered career-ending injuries. Bonds after the 98 season, Clemens after 96. To that point, are they Hall of Famers? Yes.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes.
And Clemens is one of his postseason numbers for his career. They're either pretty solid. I mean, again, obviously he had the benefit of being on great Yankees teams.
Yeah.
2000, he was particularly brilliant in the later stages. He struggled against Oakland. He pitched brilliantly against Seattle. He struck out 15 guys and threw a one-hit shutout at 38 years old.
Sick.
On the road against a very good Seattle lineup: Olerud, Cameron, A-Rod, Buhner. Goes to the World Series. Yes, he tried to murder Mike Piazza twice in the same year. He spent the entire year of 2000.
I'm not gonna say that was fun to watch. But
attempted murder is always a nice thing. He spent the entire.
That's a great World Series, by the way.
It was.
It's
an underrated World Series. 2000. It was very close. Yep. Very close. It went 5 games, but a very close 5 games. Went down to the last out.
That was fun to watch.
He spent the entire year of 2000 trying to kill Mike Piazza. He hit him in the head with the fastball, and then he threw a broken bat at him. So there's that.
Yeah.
2001 wins the Cy Young. But no, in that World Series, he was great. He threw 8 shutout innings in Game 2. 2001, he was great in that postseason as well, despite a hamstring injury. 2003, he's up and down, but the guy was consistent throughout his career. He's a top 5 pitcher of all time.
He's a beast. 354 wins, 3.12 ERA, 4,672 strikeouts. Now imagine having the point system that I mentioned before.
Oh, he would exceed it. He would exceed
just with the All-Star. Let's say you got 5 points for being an All-Star. 11 All-Stars, that's 55 points. Cy Young. Let's say you get 15, 20 points for that. He has 7 Cy Young awards. I would have been if it was 20 points each. That would have been 140.
One at 42 years old in 2004. Another one at 39 in 2001 with the Yankees. So
he's a no doubter.
It's a no doubter, and he's getting closer. Barry Bonds. We'll wrap up with this.
Let's look at Barry.
Barry, not much needs to be said about Barry. 7-time MVP, all-time home runs leader.
He gets walked with the bases loaded. Remember that?
He got walked with the bases loaded against Arizona in 1998.
And it worked out though.
Because they won the game. They won the game. That's how dangerous he was. And that's the thing. People talk about how great, and my old producer at Gotham Sports Network, Andrew Claudio, talks about this a lot. And it's pretty applicable and pretty spot on. Is that people talk about how great Mike Trout is. Mike Trout is great. Yes. Mike Trout statistically is one of the best players of his era, one of the best players of all time. Can you name a specific Mike Trout at-bat? Is what Andrew's point is. That's what Andrew always says. Can you name a specific at-bat that Mike Trout had?
I can't. I mean, I used to watch Barry Bonds. Excuse me. I don't really... Mike Trout. It's not the same. I remember Barry Bonds hitting. They would jump into the game, especially when he had that home run record going
in 2001.
They would just show the games and the at-bats. But, he's kind of right. I can't recall a significant Mike Trout at-bat.
I watched Barry at the end of his career. When Barry Bonds was that type of hitter that when he came to the plate, you stopped what you were doing.
You stopped what you were doing.
You dropped everything. You dropped what you were doing. Whatever it was, you stopped.
You stopped.
And you watched that man hit. And I can give you 5 at-bats off the top of my head that Barry Bonds had. The at-bat against Eric Gagne.
Yep.
Where he smoked the home run to center. They were just throwing straight heat at each other. That's one of the greatest at-bats ever.
Yeah.
The home run. Remember that home run he hit in 2002 in the World Series where Tim Salmon, they read his lips in the dugouts?
The Angels.
Yes, yeah, and he was like, that's the furthest ball I've ever seen hit. That ball still hasn't landed. The thing is, you never see it land. Usually you see a part where the fans, there's a swarm to get the ball. You never saw that. And listen, the ballpark in Anaheim, it's not a small one. And you know how big, right? If you watch games of the Yankees and the Mets play against the Angels, you know how big that right field wall is, how tall it is. The man hit the ball so hard. You never saw it come down. Fans, they weren't looking to swarm like there is when there's a chance to get a home run ball. They just were looking up.
Did they have StatCast back then?
No, they didn't. But if they did, right? It would have been.
Oh my goodness!
He murdered that ball. There's that one at bat. So there's 2 at bats I can give you up top. His 600th home run was with a broken bat off Josh Beckett in 2002.
That was a sick one.
With a broken bat.
Shot like that with a broken bat. That's just.
The home run he hit to break the record in 2001, the home run he hit to break the record in 2007, and last but not least, the home run he hit at Yankee Stadium in 2002. Had the upper deck not been there, that ball would have been still going.
Probably would have landed on Manhattan side of New York City. It's crazy.
I mean, if you haven't seen that at bat, folks, go pull up that at bat. Barry Bonds' home run at Yankee Stadium in 2002. That's the only time that Bonds ever played at Yankee Stadium, to my knowledge.
He's a no-doubter, bro.
He hit a missile.
He's a no-doubter.
He's a no-doubter. He's the greatest hitter who ever lived.
And he had 514 stolen bases on top of that.
I mean, my God. Look at his WAR. 162.8.
2,935 hits.
7-time MVP. 8-time Gold Glove winner. Some people say he wasn't a great fielder.
Points. Imagine there were 5 points each. Point system.
He'd have the most ever. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest hitter ever. And so Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, you can group them in together. They're both Hall of Famers and they're climax, so they should both get in. So that ends the Mike the Innovative podcast. A long episode.
This was a long episode, bro. I'm not allowed.
Should I split it into 2 parts? I might have to.
Because
it's an hour 52. As it stands right now. We're still talking.
Oh, man.
So I might have to splice this up into 2 parts.
Yeah, you can split it up. I mean, so if you had to vote 10 guys this year.
You go first.
Who would you have?
You go first.
I need a pen or something to keep track of what I'm doing here. Or let me just write it here on my phone. Definitely Barry Bonds.
Barry
Bonds is definitely, he's in. Roger Clemens, that's 2. So Bonds, Clemens. Michael Goddard, no, just kidding.
I'm about to say. Shout out to Goddard, very good Minnesota Twin. On the Mets, too, 2015 New York Mets.
I actually enjoyed him on the Mets that year.
Yeah, he was good.
Nice veteran presence.
That was a nice Mets
Todd
team.
Helton, I'll vote him in. I know you said no to Helton. Yeah, I remember.
He's great at MLB The Show, though. Even though the game is terrible because the sliders are so stupid and franchise mode is god awful.
I can't stand the simulating MLB The Show, bro. It's
I can't either.
You can have the whole team
99 overall, which is what I've done.
And you simulate it. You go like freaking 58 and
104.
Yeah, it's
and like, bro, I had the offense slid up to 99. Not the pitching, just so because certain teams do have to be bad because it has to balance out. And they're still like 39 and 117.
It's terrible. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
So let me see how many guys I got here so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's a different podcast, so that'll be a show.
9.
So who was your last guy that you would vote for on your ballot?
Let's see here.
I think I am going to split this up into 2 parts.
Yeah, you might have to split
I'm going to
it.
split
You
it.
might have to split it. 1, 2,
It makes sense.
3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 guys going in, which is pretty generous. But I'll probably have to. I would have some. So obviously, someone's gonna have to wait.
You'd have to cut somebody because the maximum that you can vote for is 10.
But I wouldn't. Let's say, like these writers be doing. They'll take them off and then put them back on and take them off. I wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely would have voted him in next year. It would probably be Torrey Hunter.
The guy that you would cut off?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Even though he's definitely a Hall of Famer for me.
For me too. For me too. After some consideration.
So I would have. Oh, you know what? I'll take that back. I'll put Bobby Abreu next year. I'll put Torrey Hunter in.
Okay. So my ballot, your ballot. So let me get a look at your ballot. It's Bonds. Victor's ballot is Bonds, Clemens, Helton, Andrew Jones, Jeff Kent, Manny, Roland, and Hunter. This is tough for me. This is my. All right. So my ballot.
And Vizquel. Sorry, I forgot Vizquel.
Is that 11 guys?
Vizquel and Sosa.
Is that 11 guys?
Oh wait.
You gotta keep it at 10. Remember. This part we do go. I mean, we talked earlier about who we think are Hall of Famers, but then when it gets down to the actual the 10 guys,
tough. I gotta say this is pretty tough.
Yeah,
it's pretty tough. If you gotta do 10.
Yeah, but you can't vote like a fool, which is what a lot of these writers do.
You can't do 10.
Not all of you, because I want some of you to come on my show, so I'm not trashing you in specific. Just putting a disclaimer out there, folks. Love you. I wonder who Ken. I think I saw Ken Rosenthal's ballot.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his ballot was.
I'm sure it was a fair ballot.
Yeah, I like. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I haven't heard that episode. Check it out. That was fun.
Yeah, that was. I gotta say that was probably one of the best episodes I've heard.
Thank you.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
So your ballot. Let me see. Bonds, Clemens.
We're running out of time.
Helton, Jones,
I need to
Kent,
organize this.
Manny, Roland, Hunter. So that's how many guys is that? Clemens.
So
2,
I got
4,
12 dudes
6,
going in right now.
8. No, that's 10. That's an even 10.
That's 10? All right.
Yeah. So it's Bonds, Clemens, Helton, Jones, Andrew Jones. That is, of course. Kent, Manny Ramirez, Roland, Hunter, Sosa, and Vizquel. So here's my.
But you know what? Just to make it right, I'll put Sheffield instead of Hunter, and then.
There's your 10. So my 10. Oh, I forgot about Gary Sheffield.
Yeah.
My 10. I can say this off the top of my head: Bonds, Clemens, Sheffield, Kent. Bonds, Clemens, Sheffield, Kent. Manny, so that's 5.
5, yeah.
6th, Wagner.
I forgot about Billy on mine.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta vote him next year.
7, Schilling.
I forgot about Schilling too, man. I'm terrible at this.
It sounds right. 8th, Roland. After seeing his analytics, I have to put Roland in.
Yeah.
9, this is tough. Abreu, I can put as my number 9. My number 10 is tough. I guess I'd have to put. I mean, I already said Andy's not a Hall of Famer, so I can't change my mind now. I'll put Torrey Hunter as my number 10.
When you say, I thought you were gonna say Jorge Posada for some reason.
No. Freudian slip. No, Jorge again. Love you, Jorge. Hip hip Jorge, but not a Hall of Famer. Good catcher.
Oh man.
Hall very good.
All very good.
But
yeah, I forgot Schilling in there too, bro. It's
your ballot's fine.
You guys know who I want to vote in.
Yeah,
you guys
we
know.
covered it. So anyway,
we covered it.
We'll end here, and again, I'm going to split this up into 2 parts because this is almost
the ages here.
This is almost a 2-hour show. My mom's going to be like, "How can you do it?" Don't worry, Mom. We're going to split this up. Love you. Don't strangle me. So before we go, where can the people find you? Because you are on Twitter, sir. You are new on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter, man, but I got like 8 followers.
We're going to help that.
Not including.
We're going to help that.
My Twitter is at BravesVic, VICK.
Braves Vic.
I'm on Instagram, Vic, VICK ___. That's where I'm more active on Instagram.
He's more active on Instagram, folks.
Yeah, that's about it. That's the only 2 major ones that I use, social media platforms.
All right, folks, so you know where to find this podcast by now. You already know who I am. I'm Mike Cologne. You can find me on Twitter at Mike in New Haven. You can find me on LinkedIn at Mike Cologne. I am on Instagram, but that's private. LinkedIn, Mike Cologne, and Instagram. Twitter, Mike in New Haven. You can find me on Twitter at Mike in New Haven. Find the podcast, Mike in New Haven, MIC''D, everywhere you get your podcast, including now YouTube. I will be splitting this up into 2 parts. So for those of you that are listening now to part number 2, I thank you. And for those of you that have heard part number 1, I thank you as well. On behalf of my brother-in-law, Victor Minyettys, I'm Mike Cologne, and we will see you